What are 3 ingredients maybe or that you wish people knew more about or you want to bring light to?
Yeah, so the first one is a herbal extract from Brazil. And if you go to Brazil or South America and you ask anyone about this herb, it's called Catuaba. All of them will know exactly what you're looking for. You're basically looking for an aphrodisiac. And you're looking for something to put you in a good mood. I actually acquired it 6 or 7 years ago from a shaman website. I basically sourced.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
I love this. Yes.
I sourced Catuaba bark. It was ground up so you can make a tea out of it. And it wasn't being sold anywhere online apart from just like a few websites. It wasn't really well known. I had to go back into like ancient texts and look back at like what was it used for historically.
What made you even be drawn to it in the first place?
I loved experimenting.
Yeah, right.
I just
okay.
loved,
Fair.
I just loved exploring the depths of human, that sort of front. And then came across Catuaba and I'm like, okay, this looks like an interesting herb. It's being used as like an adaptogen. It's like an aphrodisiac. It's a good mood booster. It works on the dopamine system. It makes rats very happy. And I'm like, okay, I've got to get my hands.
I want what the rats are having.
And then I basically realized that this particular herb, when I first used it, 500 milligrams of the actual dried powder, it made me more social, more talkative, just more upbeat, more excited, a bit more like giddy sort of personality, a bit more like carefree, not as like serious and intense. I get very serious and very like rigid. Catuaba sort of opened that up. It enabled me to be a bit more social, a bit more sarcastic. And then I gave it to my family. I gave it to my dad. I gave it to my mum. I gave it to my brother. All of them were having a similar sort of response. And I'm like, I think Catuaba is a really powerful herb that no one really knows about apart from the Brazilians. You know, the Brazilians know how to party. They know what they're doing. That's a particular herb that I actually pay close attention to over the years. But unfortunately, sourcing high quality Catuaba is very difficult because a lot of Catuaba products are actually fake. And I'm sure you know this about the supplement industry. It's like a lot of different herbs can be faked on Amazon. And that was actually the very first product that I actually released as part of my new brand, my new supplement brand that I launched called In Before, because I had such a profound effect from Catuaba and I saw no one else really selling high quality Catuaba. It took us 9 months to find legitimate. We had to get it sent off for third party lab testing. We finally found a supplier in Brazil that is legitimate Catuaba bark, and now we're pretty much selling it to the US market.
All right, that's one.
Number 2, I would say lesser known is taurine. People will see it in Red Bull and energy drinks, but supplementing with about 3 grams of taurine per day can have a very potent anti-anxiety effect. Like it can obviously reduce glutamate, increase GABA, puts people in a bit more of a calmer mood. And subjectively, I've noticed that when I take taurine, my HRV goes up, so my parasympathetic tone is improved. I feel like I'm just less on edge during the day. And really, I haven't sort of seen any major side effects from long-term usage. In fact, taurine is associated with longer lifespan in animal studies. So you could sort of call it like a longevity amino acid. You could put in a similar categories like glycine. And then thirdly, I would like to give special mention to another ingredient called uridine. Have you heard of uridine?
No, I don't think I have.
So uridine is an ingredient that's actually found within broccoli and brewer's yeast and also breast milk. Like it's
just those 3?
There's a few other ones as well.
Okay.
Clearly, it's important because it's found in breast milk, right?
Right.
It helps with neural development and it actually increases neurogenesis in the brain. Now, if older adults start noticing that their memory's declining, uridine can do an amazing job at restoring memory performance, particularly in early onset, like Alzheimer's disease. That's what it's well studied for. It works synergistically, like very well with omega-3s. So if somebody's listening to this podcast, probably taking omega-3 supplements, high dosages, you probably prescribed it or you probably take it.
I take it.
Combining 150 milligrams of uridine into that stack, you'll notice a huge improvement in like memory performance. It upregulates dopamine receptors, which is extremely important for modern day society.
Love that. What's your stack look like?
Oh, geez.
Depends which way the wind's blowing.
Exactly. It depends what's on for the day.
If you're a female, it'll be even worse. Let me tell you right now,
can
because
imagine.
you'd be like,
Cyclical.
right, cycle day 21. Yeah.
Luckily, I don't have to
Factor that in.
Yeah, that
well,
would
I
be
do
hard.
But I'm interested to hear.
It really depends on what's on my schedule. So like for me,
Tell me about today.
Today, all right. So because I had a couple of consultations this morning and I've also been to the gym and been in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber because I got one upstairs in my apartment. I've had lactoferrin, which is important for immune health, just general iron absorption, things like that. Also reduces endotoxin, which is a gram-negative bacteria. I've had 6 grams of inositol. It sounds like a lot, but the studies go up to like 18 grams. It's completely safe. I've had taurine, I've had phenylalanine, and I've had Catuaba, and I've also had Tudka as well, which is a liver protective supplement. That's what I had today. The day's not over yet. There'll probably be 4 or 5 other ones when I go back this afternoon, but I do regular blood work just to make sure. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm taking is actually protecting the liver, protecting the kidneys, helping with blood sugar control. And I've also had a little bit of like cacao as well, dark chocolate.
I'm assuming that, yes, that's been perfected over time.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I feel like my brain changes depending upon my environment quite a lot. If I'm around people that are really exciting, I don't need as many like dopamine releasing agents sort of thing.
So the boring people, you're like, okay, who's on my list today? You're boring.
Yeah.
Right.
Increase the dose. Mondays are my big filming day. So I try and film like 5 YouTube videos on the one day, on the Mondays. And that day I'll take things that help with like blood flow, circulation, and also verbal fluency as well. So I find that Uridine that I mentioned before changed the game in terms of like being able to articulate yourself and like for verbal fluency. That was a big one for me.